Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Bella Gamer, and we're back with another Lancer video. I haven't forgotten about y'all yet. It's just been a very busy week for Pathfinder, though I am excited to say that this is going to be the last video where we're going to be looking at the beginner mechs. Then we're going to be going into the full licenses, and I'm going to do a rotation thing where I'm going to go through each individual company and doing a mech from each of them in rotation, so that no matter what your favorite corporation is, you're going to be getting your mech in a relatively decent amount of time, hopefully. Unless you like the Lich or something, and then you're kind of SOL. But in any regard, today we're going to be talking about the Chomolungma, which it took me a lot to understand how to say this, and I actually didn't know, but the Chomolungma is the Tibetan name for Mount Everest, which is very interesting. And not only that, but I was kind of hoping that each of these would be different mountains, but I still like it, and it's nice to have the actual, like, the Tibetan name for the mountain rather than the English given Everest. So, yeah. So the Chumuluma is a support and controller version of the other mech frames. So, what does that mean? Excuse me. As you can see here, it has generally the same stats as the Everest. With some exceptions, it has an E defense of 10, and it has a repair capacity of 4, and it's hard to see, but down here as well, it only has 2 mounts, a main aux and a flex mount, which main aux is kind of bad. That means that it can use either, you can see here, one main weapon and one aux weapon or 2 aux. Oh, okay, never mind. Wait, what's the difference between, one second. What's the difference between that and a main mount? Holds one main or auxiliary weapon. Oh, main is the bad one. Okay, so main aux. Actually, that's not that bad. Flex mount, no heavy mount on this one. And what's the difference between flex? Either one main weapon or 2 auxiliary weapons. Okay, this can have a main and an aux or 2 aux. This one is main or 2 aux. Okay, all right. It's so unintuitive how they've named the mounts, because they honestly don't, the names don't mean anything. It's just, you have to understand like what those terms are. So anyway, no heavy mount, so no super heavy or heavy weapons. A little bit worse repair capacity, but otherwise it's about the same as the Everest. And as you can tell, this is the tech one, as you get a tech attack bonus, and you get the frame traits that relate to tech attacks, brilliance, and data siphon. So overall, as I kind of mentioned before, the Chomolungma has a little bit less armor than most other mechs, a little bit more HP than other mechs, and a little bit better E defense than other mechs. Really good sensor range, 15 sensor range, and a +1 tech attack, which there's a lot of mechs that don't have a tech attack or have a penalty, so that's really good. This is just the mech you use when you want to hack enemies at the beginning of the game. I'm glad they put this one in. This one came in, I don't remember what book this one came in as. Solstice Rain right here. Operation Solstice Rain. So that was another adventure book they came out. A really good one. I really like Solstice Rain. I think it's a very good one. It has really good battle maps in it. And yeah, so this is the tech one. Let's look at the frame trade, shall we? So Brilliance, really good. Once per scene, when you may take any quick tech action as a free action, and then you may either bolster or lock on as a free action as well. So once per scene, you get 2 free actions. Really, really good. A very solid one. And honestly, it's just really good for some setup. This is a good turn 1 action just to give your teammates like some really good firepower out the gate. Maybe if you're going against a boss that has like a mechanic you have to work around, then this is also really good for whatever that burst window may be. You agree to go first in your team. You set up your team to get some really good successes. And overall, it's a very, very solid frame trait. It's only once per scene, so it's not as good as some of the later mechs that you can get access to, but still very powerful. Next is Data Siphon. So whenever the Chomolungma makes a tech attack against a hostile character, it may also automatically scan them. Really good, very good feature. Normally, you have to use a talent to get this kind of feature. So the fact that they just automatically get it is actually really solid. And of course, the same with all the other GMS style of mechs, you get replaceable parts. So your parts can be replaced at an easier, or you can repair your mech at a cheaper rate than other mechs, which is good considering the reduced repair capacity seen here. And yeah, I kind of already talked about the mounts, but mech is obviously not a heavy firepower mech. It's a lot more based around auxiliary weapons. Honestly, I would probably just stack on like 4 auxiliary weapons. That would be my go-to for this particular mech, just to have a lot of consistent firepower. And even if you're using your quick actions for like using tech actions, you'll at least get to make some multiple attacks. It's overall really good. Plus the sensor range is really solid. So there's all kinds of really good tech actions you can use with the Chomolungma. So the core systems are really good. It has 2 innate passive core systems. That means you can use these invades, I mean, once per scene, but these aren't using your CP. So you can use these whenever you feel like without worrying about the use of your CP. Uh, Balance control lockout is really good. So you push your target 2 spaces and knock them prone. If they are prone already, they become immobilized. Each character can only be immobilized this way once per scene. Oh, I was dumb. I misread that. So yeah, you can use these as much as you want, though. You can only immobilize once per scene. Really, really good. This is also an invade action, which invade, I want to say, is a invade. Yeah. So invade is a full action when you invade. Make a tech attack against, yeah, so you make a standard tech attack, not a quick tech, not quick tech attack. So it is really good if that's like the core thing you want to do on your turn. And the fact that you can just use this to knock an enemy 2 space, and plus on invade, they automatically take 2 heat, is really good. Invade actions are really, really solid and a really good way to burn out some other mechs. System Crusher is also really good. This one adds 2 additional heat to the invade rather than just the standard 2, so it's a total of 4 heat. And if the invade causes them to exceed their heat cap, they take 4 burn as well. This is a really good one, but this one's very particular. You need to scan the enemy system and you need to use System Crusher at a time that the heat would overcap them on their heat cap. Then you get that access to 4 burn. 4 burn is massive. It's really good. This mech is just all about constantly hacking the other mechs. Honestly, this one's a really solid like hacking mech. This one, I wouldn't say it rivals something like the Goblin, but it's a really good one. One of the better ones, I think, in the game in general. So, sticking with the Chomolungma as like your core mech might honestly not be a bad idea, especially with these additional invades that you get for their core systems. Now, their active core effect, so this one does consume your CP. This one makes it where you choose any number of hostile characters within sensor range. That's a massive number. You have 15 sensor range, so that could be, if you position well, that can position like most of the enemies in your area. And you make a special invade tech attack against each of them, ignoring invisible and line of sight. On hit, apply the effects of invade as normal, choosing options for each target. On miss, targets become impaired until the end of their next turn. So, if you succeed, you can use any invade option that you have access to. When you're using this mech, you automatically start with 2, and whatever you pick up with your other licenses will make it so you can just choose each effect for each mech that fails. And even if you fail to invade, the target then just becomes impaired until the end of their next turn anyway, which is really good. That's a very powerful core bonus. And it just, like, reading over the Chomolungma, it's a very powerful mech. It's a mech that I think stands a lot better toe to toe with some of the other mechs in the game. This is really not a bad one, and switching between this mech and like the Goblin mech, there's a lot of variety of reasons why you might want to. The size, it's a size 1 mech rather than 1/2 for Goblin. That can be very handy. Or that you can switch to the Goblin when you need a size 1/2, which is like more general person size. Overall, this is just a really good hacking tech-based mech, and its wide area code pulse is just a phenomenal effect. This could devastate entire enemy teams. It's nutty. I don't know. This is just a really, really good mech overall. The stats are mostly generalized with only like some downsides being like its armor or its repair capacity, but it has a higher save target and it has really good health for a mech as well. Like this is just a tankier hacker mech than like the Goblin. So hopefully this video helped out. Hopefully you understand that the kind of position this mech plays on the battlefield, it is very much the... Oh yeah, I also didn't mention they have actually more system points. This is actually the average number of system points in the game, which is technically a step better than the Everest and the Sagarmatha. So the Chomolungma is a very good mech, and I feel like it stands a little bit above the other two starter mechs as far as like overall kit. Granted, it is a one-trick pony mech. It is a hacking mech. The whole point is it is a tech or invade style mech. So if that's not a playstyle you enjoy, then you're better off playing something like the Everest, which is a good all-rounder speedy mech, or the Sagarmatha if you prefer a more defensive protector playstyle. So let me know if any of you have used the Chomolungma down in the description or down in the comments. And as well, if you all like this kind of video, I tried a little bit something different with the video today. Obviously, I am not using pop-ups like I normally do. I'm just kind of talking on a screen. I think I like this a little bit better because I can highlight certain things to give text and context to a lot of the things I'm saying. But let me know how you think about this in the comments as well. Subscribe if you like this kind of content and leave a thumbs up so that helps with the algorithm. That makes it a lot easier for me to justify putting time into Lancer videos. And I really do want to just make a bunch more Lancer videos. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Good luck with your games. And leave the bad luck to me. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.